All right, good morning. We have Dalton in the house here to open us up with some beautiful music. Welcome, Dalton.
Hello. This is kind of a classic, so do feel free to join in if you know it and you feel like it. It's in every one of us to be free. Find your heart, let yourself simply be. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us. Like I've been sleeping for years, I'm not awake as I can be, but my scene's better. I can see through the tears. I've been realizing that I bought this ticket, but I'm seeing only half of the show. There is scenery and lights, and a cast of thousands who all know what I know, and it's good that it's so. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all have everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us here and now. Oh, it's in every one of us here and now.
Thank you. Well, I'm Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell, and I'm the practitioner for you today. And Christy and I both will be by the bell after service if you would like a spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of affirmative prayer. And if you would like a tour of the grounds afterwards, because we have 3.5 beautiful acres here with gardens, and we'd love to show you around. We'd like to invite the children up, and as they come up, oh, here comes some more. All right, good. Come on up, guys. And Lindy's going to take the camera and scan the room. And like I said, it's a sparse morning this morning because we had maximum capacity yesterday at the beautiful celebration of life for Jamie Patton. It was really great. So hopefully all the people that were tired are watching us this morning. So glad you're here. Now let's sing to the children.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Right now, I'd like to thank all the people who came early today to set this service up for you. Lindy is back in the sound booth, and Doug and Ronnie are ushers and greeters, and we have the McQuistons and their assistants in the kitchen. And there is food left over from yesterday, so don't rush out too soon today. And then we have Judy, and we have Dalton, and Christy and I. So there we are. If you have a cell phone that's not turned on airplane mode, I'd appreciate it if you would do that. Thank you. And if you're new with us for today, we have a wonderful friendship packet Doug would like to bring you. Any new faces? I don't see any, but okay. And if you would like one anyway, they're on the back wall. They're the blue packet. Thank you, Doug. Right now, it's time to welcome new members. And guess who they are? Come on up, new members. We're so excited because these two have been coming for quite a while, Reverend Kat Cox and then Jonathan Blees. And we are just so excited because they've jumped right in and become a great part of this community. So we have a membership card for you in there and a thank you letter. And then I would like to give you a book I did a few years ago, The History of this Center from 1971 to 2014. And you will find it fascinating who we've had as ministers. And anyway, it's a really great thing. So, yeah. And it's perfect for Reverend Kat to be our speaker this morning, which is great. All right. It's birthdays. Anybody have a birthday in March? Please stand. All right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
All right, good. Birthdays are wonderful. You know you're alive. All right, I have a few announcements. This Tuesday, I'll be doing the Foundations class. It's called New Foundations of Science of Mind. And if you're fairly new, most centers don't let you take a certificated course until you take this class because it's the history and it's rich with history and also essays by former teachers and famous people that worked with Dr. Holmes. So it's Tuesday, starts March 7th from 12:30 to 3:30, and I'd love to see you there. The workbook is amazing, and it's 237 pages long, so you know it's chock full of really good stuff. So anyway, it's always nice to know. Reverend Sue's going to start her class, Powering Your Decisions, on Thursday, March 9th, 10 in the morning till noon. That's with Raymond Charles Barker's book, The Power of Decision, one of the best books I've ever read. I've taught that class quite a few times. Also on Thursday from 10 in the morning till noon, I'll be doing a caregiver support group, and we talk about the issues, those of us who are caregiving for our loved ones, and learning new things like how to turn them over if you have to turn them over. And when Paul fell out of bed the other day, I couldn't pick him up, so I had to call 911. And, you know, sometimes you just have to do that. And it's an interesting experience working with loved ones who need your help. So feel free to come if you have a loved one that you're caring for, or you might be, or you would like more information. The Spiritual Music Jam. Stephen. Oh, you want me to announce it? All right. The Music Jam is led by Michael Harris, Steve Shem-Smith and Margot Francios. And it's Friday, March 10th, 7 to 8:30, right here in the sanctuary. And it's dedicated to bringing together the harmony of all the instruments that people bring. It's an amazing thing. But Margot is offering drumming lessons at 6 o'clock in the social hall because some people want to do it better and they'd like a few lessons. So come early if you would like to learn more about the drumming circle and how to drum in harmony. I bet that'll be interesting. And then Saturday, March 11th is Landscape Save-A-Day with Roy Wolfstead and Diana Wolfstead and Charlie Bourne, 9 to noon. That's always an interesting thing this time of year because we've still got lots of leaves and things, and with all the wind, there's things to clean up and spruce up our landscape. So feel free to join them, even for a half hour or an hour. Christy Carr, you want to talk about your class?
Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay. So this Saturday from 1 to 4, I'll be having another one of my beading classes, which has now morphed into craft classes. So this Saturday, we'll have someone come in and she's going to teach us how to make dream catchers. So that's going to be fun. And if you want to bead, you can still bead, but we'll be there for both. So hopefully to see you soon.
Great. Sounds like fun. All right. And daylight savings time begins next weekend. Hallelujah. That is wonderful. And we're having an arts and collectibles sale. It starts next Sunday, goes through April 2nd, and the whole foyer, and there's so much room in my so much stuff in my old office. I don't know where it's all going to flow, but it's going to be very exciting. A lot of really beautiful antique things and very nice stuff. And our congregational meeting is next Sunday. If you're a member, we really, really encourage you to come, and if you're a friend, come, because we talk about the state of the center, the financials, everything that has gone on this past year, and what the future holds. It's very important that you know, because we know that we're all funded by you, and so it's important for you to know how the funds are being spent and what's coming up and the exciting things that are being planned for the new year. All right. So Jonathan, you're going to do the reading, right? And it's up here already. And then Christy will do the spiritual mind treatment after she invites the bell. And then Reverend Kat is going to talk about Know Thyself. So it's going to be a really great morning. Come on up.
Good morning again. The human soul has an inborn instinct for making something out of nothing. We are being asked to participate creatively in the changes sweeping the world. In the great drama of life, the awakened human soul becomes the uniquely living quality that is needed to help tip the balance of the world away from destruction and toward ongoing creation. The counterbalance to terror and destruction is found in individuals awakening to the underlying wholeness of the self and the secret connection of each of us to the soul of the world.
I'm just going to wait just a sec. So as we go within, join with me in knowing that there is one mind, the oneness in all the universe, knowing that Spirit is everywhere present, and knowing that we are unified in that source in wholeness, in life, in beauty, and in joy. We are all one together right now, right here, knowing that this beautiful day is pure and perfect. This radiant divine current of truth moves through each one of us. So as Reverend Kat Cox speaks today, we know in this moment, in this space, in this time, we feel that ever-ending flow of life, blessing our hearts and guiding us to that loving energy which moves us on our journey, leading us to our own truth, that which is meaningful to our life, acknowledging and knowing that everything is as it should be, perfect for us at this very moment. We stay true to our authentic self, and in that we bloom, liberating ourselves and others. We release the idea of what we should be into who we truly are, and courageously share that out into the world. And for that, I am grateful. Grateful for knowing that all is perfect just as it is. I release this into the law, knowing it to always say yes. And together we say, and so it is. Reverend Kat.
So a few years ago, I was doing one of these guest preaching gigs, just like today. I think I was up in the mountains somewhere. And I got up in the morning to look at my notes the way I always do, and I had done something that is unusual for me. I had just picked up the notes from a previous sermon. Now, people who are parish ministers, sometimes referred to in the trade as pulpit jockeys, they often keep their sermons to do over again when they do a guest spot somewhere. But I never really did that. I always like to keep it fresh. And when I looked at it that morning, where I had just picked up notes, I could not stand it, because it just felt stale. And so I got up in front of the congregation and I said, "You and I have something in common. Neither of us has any idea what I'm going to say this morning." And it went from there. And afterwards, one person came up and said, "That was one of the greatest sermons ever." So I guess it worked. So our theme this month is authenticity, and the topic is know thyself. And this was very interesting for me, because in my tradition, in Unitarian Universalism, we don't have this kind of voice coming down saying, this is the theme of the month, this is the theme of the week. So it was a beautiful synchronicity for me to be asked to speak on this topic, because authenticity is really important for me. 30 years ago, could be 35 now, I'm losing track, I had not one, but yes, 2 teens in troubled teen boarding schools. And I went to the parent seminars. You actually couldn't have your kids in the school unless you went to the seminars. And Mel Wasserman, who owned the schools, who was a former furniture salesman, 10th grade school dropout, but he had an amazing wisdom when it came to the kids. And he used to be there and say, "You are my problem, your kids are not my problem, you are my problem." And so we would do these intense weekend workshops. And I remember in one, we had to fill out, it was a ribbon, what was the word that we came to that we were going to live by. And the word I picked was authenticity. And that was a turning point for me, because it was a moment of actually realizing that living authentically was something that I could give myself permission to do, that I could learn to do, and I had to face into how much I had not been living that way in my life. And authenticity requires self-knowledge. You know, we have the sense that we know ourselves. We navigate through the world. We have our way of moving in the world. But there is more to us than we are aware of and we are living from. I'm currently doing a 5-week dream work class, part of my ministry of spiritual guidance. I work with individuals and couples, and I offer workshops. And in the dream workshop, we started working last week with images in the dream. The persona is the images of yourself in the dream. And Jung said the images of yourself in the dream show you how you see yourself, how you think about yourself. But every figure in the dream, the background, the quality of light, everything is an aspect of yourself that you are not yet as familiar with, or maybe don't want to know at all. And that includes the monsters and the scary figures in your dream. And everyone has a gift of self-knowledge. So part of the joy of the dream work I've been doing for pretty close to 40 years now is that I keep expanding in my knowledge of myself, which means I keep expanding in my capacity to move in the world in a way that gives me peace and joy, and that I can really feel is a contribution to life. So how do we know ourselves better? And why does that really matter? I want to say that I have come to deeply believe that authenticity is central to a spiritually grounded life. I do not believe you can go to any dogma, any book, any setting that tells you this is the way, be exactly this way, just follow these rules and you'll feel in connection with God. It lets you down. And the history of religion is the history of people experiencing that and looking for something new. So, authenticity gives aim and direction to our lives. A few of you may know the book or the movie Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's way past the time for some of the younger folks. But in it, there's kind of this parody of, what is the meaning of the universe? And the computer spits out 43. But the meaning of the universe, the meaning of our purpose, for me, it's become really clear that we're here to become the truest and fullest version of who we are, to blossom and to flourish, and to contribute in all of our interactions with people in helping them to flourish as well. And that the joy is found when we're living in that way. And to live in that way, we need to be in some kind of felt relationship with the source energy of being. Some kind of felt, living relationship with the source energy of being. And I know that it is never too late to flourish and to grow in your capacity to be in that lived relationship and to be more fully who you are, to come into living authentically, which always means bringing together truth and love. And I learned a lot about that in the year when I was a chaplain at the Veterans Hospital in Palo Alto. And I companioned a number of people through dying. And I saw that some, not everybody, but some, that time of dying was a time of dropping everything that stood between them and the fullest expression of who they were. All they wanted was to be present with love and truth to every person in their lives. And those were inspiring moments to me. So don't ever tell yourself, it's too late, I already have the way I live. There's nothing more I can discover about myself now. There's nothing more than I can unfold now. I had the great pleasure in my life of knowing Houston Smith, probably the world's leading scholar on world religions. He was, his wife actually was a member of the Berkeley Unitarian Universalist congregation. And he used to say, there's something in my theology to offend everybody. But he said, modern Western culture, post-industrial revolution culture, is the only culture in the history of the world not to believe that there is an unseen source energy reality beyond the physical world with which we can be in relationship. That's the crucial part. With which we can be in felt relationship. So opening to that felt relationship opens us to how source energy is flowing through us and guiding us into our deeper authenticity. It connects us with our truth. It connects us with our capacity for love. It connects us with our opening to the wisdom that's always seeking to flow through us. I just want to invite you to consider if you grew up in an atmosphere that nurtured your authenticity. I did not. Were you invited in knowing and being true to yourself? You know, how much? 10%? 90%? My God, if it's anything more than 50%, you really lucked out. That's my perception of most people's upbringing. And parents mean well, and schools mean well. But we are in the stuckness largely because we were mostly not supported in being ourselves. I guess I was in about the 6th grade. I think it was the 6th grade, and I was feeling low. I went to a very rigid academic private girls' school. Girls were regularly expelled for not making the grade. And I was being tested for ulcers by 4th grade, I can tell you that much. And I was sitting there at 6th grade, I'm in the hallway, the principal walks by, she says, "How are you, Kathleen?" I don't know, I just had a moment when I wanted to be real. I said, "Oh, I guess I'm okay, Mrs. Malin." She had walked on, she turned on her heel, she walked back, she said, "You are fine, Kathleen. At all times when you are asked, you are fine. Do you understand?" "Yes, Mrs. Malin." "How are you, Kathleen?" "I'm fine, Mrs. Malin." "That is correct." Now, I believe that woman meant well. I really do. I believe she thought she was giving me a necessary tool for navigating life, and she was wrong. You know, I want to invite you to consider in your own life, in the way that you were raised, were you asked real questions or were you asked test questions? A test question has only one right answer. 7 times 8, it has only one right answer. Capital of Switzerland, only one right answer. Do you believe what we in this family believe about ... Only one right answer. These are the moments that take us away from believing that it is safe to be who we are. I've thought about this, and in my life, my mother asked me one actual question. One time. I was about 6 years old, and it's the only time I could see behind her eyes that she didn't have the correct answer already in mind, and the real question was, are you going to give me the correct answer? I was about 6, and she asked me what my favorite color was. What my favorite color was. And it was kind of a thrilling moment, because I had one moment of feeling like she really wants to know this about me. And I could feel how exciting it was to have someone ask me a question and be curious about what the truth was for me. And I said, sky blue. And all these years later, it still is. You know, the poet Rumi said, it makes absolutely no difference what anybody else thinks. And I want to say, yes and no. It makes no difference what anybody else thinks in terms of choosing to be who you are and not compromising who you are. That's essential, and it took me a long time to know that. But it does matter if part of what you want in the world, and I am absolutely certain that Rumi wanted this, and his poetry reveals it fully, for us to be in truthful and loving relationships with everyone. Truthful and loving. And part of my spiritual practice in my life has been to learn how to do that. And I'm still learning. Just last night, I sent someone a text. I meant it to be supportive, came back that had been a little bit offensive, felt pressured about something, didn't mean that, sorry. We never get it perfect. But we can make a decision to aim for truth and love simultaneously. And it is absolutely necessary to step away from some people because they are not safe and they drive us insane. It's just part of what we have to do to survive in life. But there's still an inner practice that we can do to bring ourselves in touch with what's alive for that person, that they might have acted in that way. And then we move into a deeper authenticity of living in love and truth simultaneously. And I really do take my stand in this. Everything that any person has ever done is one of two things. Either it is an act of love or it is a cry for love. And those are the only possibilities. So if you choose to expand your self-knowledge, to know yourself better, to live more authentically, how are you going to do that? How are you going to get there? Well, I've already suggested one practice, which is dream work. Another practice I would suggest is noticing the synchronicities. It does not feel accidental to me that I am asked to speak today on a day when theme is something that is so deeply important in my life. For me, that's the universe at work. And Jung said, the great psychologist Carl Jung, that the divine drops these little calling cards, and one of them is the synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences of life. So I want to say, be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for the meaningful coincidences because they're a little calling card from the divine. And a third practice is to follow the uncomfortable feelings. JB and I were talking this morning in the car about one of my favorite quotes from the spiritual teacher Byron Katie. When I argue with reality, I lose, but only 100% of the time. So following the uncomfortable feelings means being present to what is real. And the place we get stuck is we believe that if we open to the uncomfortable feelings, rather than numbing and distracting ourselves, we'll go down even farther. And so numbness and distraction come up a lot. Overwork has been one of my favorite ways of distracting. Helper people do that. But if we can be present and move through it, the wave will move through and we will find ourselves in another place. I had an example of following uncomfortable feelings in my own life in the last week. And let me just say, people respond to discomfort when people won't cooperate in different ways. Some people whine, some people demand, some people threaten. I cheerlead. I become such an enthusiastic cheerleader that you have to agree with me. And so one of my granddaughters, she asked not to be named, but one of my granddaughters said to me, you know, Gaga, when you ask if I want to do something and I say no, you don't give up. You just change it just a little bit. Well, how about if we did it this way? And if I say no to that, then, well, how about on this day? Well, how about if we change this? And she's like, it's exhausting. So she and I were sitting and watching a movie of the great chef Julia Child, played by Meryl Streep, and I watched her doing what I do. I watched her getting that kind of ginning up that over-ebullient, vibrant cheerleader energy with her husband, who's played by Stanley Tucci, another of my favorites in the movie. And it was kind of like energetically what she was doing. It was as though she had this gigantic bunch of helium balloons, brightly colored, and she's holding them and she's kind of bopping him on the head with the helium balloons. You know, do you like the idea now? Do you like it yet? Yeah. I just felt like slithering off the couch. So follow the uncomfortable feelings. And I said, and she kind of looked at me, and I said, that's what I do, isn't it? She said, yeah. She said, what are you going to do about it? I said, I'm really going to try to catch myself when I start, and I'm going to invite you to let me know. So we need to take action once we recognize. But the recognizing is not easy because we're in discomfort with change. We're in discomfort because we fear the emotions that will come up. The guilt, the remorse, the shame, the unworthiness. And change requires spiritual practice. Don't think you can just decide and do it. It almost never happens, and you know that. Being in community is a spiritual practice. It's an important one because, we come in contact with each other. We get to care about each other, and we get to learn how to be human together. So I'd like to invite you into another practice that I use every day, almost every day in my own life. It's a visualization. And so if you're willing, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes for a moment and take a few deep breaths. And I'd like you to visualize, you may or may not have heard of the aura, but you've seen paintings of the Holy Family, and they're in a golden bubble of light. I want you to visualize the golden bubble of light, your aura that surrounds your physical body. This is your energy body, and it's real. It extends about 18 inches, 2 feet out beyond your body. It's possible to do spiritual practices, to visualize, rather actually to see the aura. Breath practices can take you deep into that. And I've been grateful for those moments. So I want you just to suspend your disbelief and see your body right now sitting in this chair, floating inside a golden bubble of light, maybe suspended in a night sky, if that feels lovely, or right in your chair, if that feels better to you. Breathe into the golden bubble of light. Breathe out. And as you breathe in, see yourself drawing in golden particles of light that are divine energy, light and love, coming directly into your heart. See your heart light up a little bit and see it receive that golden bubble of light. And now I want you, if you're willing, to visualize a cord dropping down into the earth from your golden bubble of light. You are connecting to the Mother, the great Mother Earth that is ever nurturing you. And a second cord coming above the crown of your head and going up infinitely into the cosmos, your cosmic cord of connection. They're both real. Maybe you're visualizing them, if you're willing, for the first time now. And on the in-breath, I want to invite you to breathe in through your grounding cord and your cosmic connection cord. Breathing in the energy of the Earth Mother. Breathing in the energy of divine love, sometimes imaged as the Divine Father. And you're pulling them into your body and into your heart. And just let yourself rest and trust. Let yourself say, I let go and I let God. I let go and I let God. What now, God? Show me the next step on the path. Because the next step is all I need. just where to put my foot next. And I'm opening to knowing, and I'm opening in trust. And I'm opening to the possibility that I can feel guided. I can feel guided. Inside me will be the knowing. This is what I'm called to next. And I'm turning it over to God. And know that you can return to this particular visualization anytime. You can choose to stop whatever else you're doing and tune in and open to divine light and love, guiding you to your deeper knowing of what is next for you. And when you feel ready, I want to invite you to open your eyes and come back into this space. In this moment, I'm realizing that a second practice that I'd hoped to introduce, there just isn't going to be time for. And that's okay. The universe is guiding me to let it go. Perhaps another time. So in this moment, I want to enter into the spirit of prayer with you. And I want to invite you now into opening to connect with the source energy of being, spirit of life, divine consciousness, love and light, sacred spirit, Mother, Father, God, Holy One. I open my heart and my energy body, breathing in, receiving light, breathing out, releasing all. Breathing in, receiving light, breathing out, releasing all. I'm opening to the guidance that is always flowing into me, always there for me, never for 1 second abandons me. And in the moments when I'm ready and willing, I open my heart and my spirit and my energy body to receive what is here for me now. That I may know myself, that I may live authentically, that I may be of service to my loved ones and all the world. And I have trust that I will be supported. I have trust that I will be held, I will be nurtured, I will be infused with love and light whenever I ask for it instantaneously with an open heart. And I will move through my life opening like the flower of being that I am to all that I can be, allowing myself to blossom as your divine creation, and grateful for this embodied presence that I still am. And may we leave this space today energized, enlivened, and inspired to open to the divine light moving through us, trusting and releasing again and again. We open our hearts in thanks and gratitude to divine love. May it be so.
who only have one wing. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. Do you know there are angels in our midst? Can you hear them? Can you feel them? They're all around you, with you every day. Do you look at them, or do you look the other way? Is that someone I forgot to kiss as I hurried out the door? That stranger who said hello that I ignored. They are angels. They are angels. They are all angels who only have one wing. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. My life gets so busy, time goes by so fast. I rush on through the day, just trying to make each moment last. But when I take the time to look around, I see sweet angels smiling back at me. Every day at any time, I need to open up my eyes, see the beauty that surrounds me. Now I realize they are angels. They are angels. They are all angels who only have one ring. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. We need each other to fly. Need each other to fly. Each other to fly. We need each other to fly. Each other to fly. We need each other to fly. We need each other to fly. We need each other.
We do miss that voice when you're not here. I'd like to invite the ushers forward, please. All right. As we prepare to give our offerings, our hearts are filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for our spiritual well-being. We're filled with gratitude, knowing that life stays in balance, for as I give, I receive.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And I give thanks for these blessed donations received in the offering this morning and those that come in during the week. I know each dollar supports the spiritual family in so many ways as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all that this center has been blessed with today and always. And so it is. Thank you. So there'll be some who knows what in the social hall, but it'll be edible because it was here for the celebration yesterday. And you'll get to see the nice decorations that, there were at least 20 people involved in making it all happen, and it was so beautiful. So enjoy that. And now we have a closing song.
And if you are comfortable, please stand. I used to sit and talk about how I wanted to change the world, but I always left it up for someone else to do. Then I finally realized I needed to take a stand, and that by changing my thinking I could change my life, and that's how I would change the world. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Yeah. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be love. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. Said we are making a new